Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation is from Gaudi Mahalla Tija, composition of the third Nanak. The recitation: Brahma Ved Parai Vad Vakahnai, Antar Tamas Aap na Pachhanai, Ta Prabh Paai Gur Sabad Vakahnai. Gur Seva Karo Fir Kaal na Khaye, Man Mukh Khade Duje Pae Rahao. Gurmukh Prani Aparadhi Sidhe, Gur Ke Sabdi Antar Sahaj Ridhe. Mera Prabh Paya Gur Ke Sabd Sidhe. Satgure Mile Prabh Aap Milaye, Mere Prabh Sache Ke Mane Paye. Har Gun Gave Sahaj Subhaye. Bin Gur Sache Param Pulaye, Manmukh Ande Sada Bikh Khaye. Jab Dand Sahe Sada Dukh Paye. जमुआना जो है हर की सरनाई, हाउ मैं मारे सच लिवलाई. सदा रहे हर नाम लिवलाई. सतगुर सेवै से जन निर्मल पविता, मन स्यों मन मिलाए सब जग जीता. इन बिद कुशल तेरे मेरे मीता, सतगुर सेवे सो फल पाए. ਹਿਰਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਆਪ ਗਵਾਏ, ਅਨਹਦ ਬਾਣੀ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਜਾਏ. ਸਤਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਕਵਨ ਕਵਨ ਨਾ ਸੀਧੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਭਾਈ, ਭਗਤੀ ਸੀਧੇ ਦਰ ਸੋਭਾ ਪਾਈ. ਨਾਨਕ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਵਡਿਆਈ. ਸਤਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਕਵਨ ਕਵਨ ਨਾ ਸੀਧੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਭਾਈ, ਭਗਤੀ ਸੀਧੈ ਦਰ ਸੋਭਾ ਪਾਈ. ਨਾਨਕ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਵਡਿਆਈ. Guru Amar Das continues the discussion that he initiated, or the instruction rather, a few passages ago, and he talks here about Gur seva karo, fir kaal na khai, man mukh khade duje pae. So the theme is the same, namely, manmukh, the immoral agent, the self-centered mind, the ego consciousness. Manmukh khade. Khade is to be eaten up, to be consumed. Khade duje pae. Duja pae, love of the other here being the ego and the world that it projects. So self-possessed, the ego-possessed individual is forever anxious. And it is only when Gur Seva Karon, when I follow the instructions of Guru wisdom, Fir Kaal na Khai, then the tyranny of time. You see, time here is the element of creation that causes this confusion. Because of time, reality gets fragmented. It actually creates the ego, which then begins to see things as subject versus object, which sees itself as the center. To be human is really to see yourself as the center of the universe. And because the ego is really an abstraction, it's forever afraid of dying. And so that fear underlies everything that a manmukh does, or an ego-centered mind does. That is Another way of saying that is our default nature. That's how we all act. We act out of fear, whether we are aware of it or not. And so now, this is the central message here. The Guru then, in the first verse, actually, in the opening, he says, Brahma Ved Parai Vad Vakahnai, antar tamas aap na pachane. Now here's the problem with the religious instruction of the day, which involved Brahma Ved Parai. Brahma here is a reference either to an individual or to the Brahmin who reads the Vedas aloud. Brahma Ved Parai Vad Vakahnai. I've translated it to mean Brahmin, because they are the ones who are actually the expositors of the Vedas. So the Brahmin reads aloud the Vedas and expounds Ved Vakahnai, but remains ignorant. Antar tamas. Tamas is darkness of the self. Apanapshane doesn't recognize itself, because scriptural reading is not going to do that. It's only going to do Vad Vakahnai, which means dialogue, discord, being cantankerous and unpleasant. It doesn't really bring you anything other than pride in scriptural knowledge. So the Guru says, Ta prabhapai gur sabda vakahnai. So I can escape all of this if I were to find myself. That's really what we are all after. And then the rest of the passage actually amplifies the fact that Gurmukha Prani aparadhi siddhe. Through Guru wisdom, errors are corrected. And through Guru wisdom, the mind becomes at natural ease, antar sahaj hriday. And so the Guru is saying, I found the self within when Guru wisdom directed me. Mera prabh paya gur ke sabad siddhe. Bin gur sache param pulaye manmukh ande sada pek khaye jam dand sahe. Again, here's the state of the manmukh. Without Guru wisdom, the mind is lost in doubt. Bin gur sache param pulaye. The manmukh is blind, meaning ignorant, and leads a toxic existence. You can imagine living in fear is very toxic, and that brings sorrow and suffering. So therefore, find the self, find sanctuary in the self, in your higher self. How may mar sach live lie? And follow the Satgur, Gur wisdom. So the mind is the one that has to transform. Manasyo man milaye sab jag jeeta. Those who serve Guru wisdom become free of flaws and pure of heart. Sejan nirmal pavitra. The mind transforms the ego consciousness aspect of itself to reach its own apex, its own extension, as it were, its perfect awareness. So the mind, as we know, is fragmented. There is a higher mind and a lower mind. The lower mind is the ego, and Kabirji refers to these two states as in-man and un-man. So manasyo mana milai. So the ego has to make the effort initially to submit itself to Guru wisdom. That is the skill. In bid kusal tere. That is how it is done. Through this method is the self befriended. So in the end, the Guru says, such is the great value of self-knowledge. Vadiyai, name vadiyai, Ram name vadiyai, that anyone who seeks it with loving devotion, bhakti, is transformed, siddhe, puthyo siddhe ho jana, and makes the world a better place. Darsoba pai. And he concludes by asking, as a rhetorical question, who isn't transformed by the true enlightener? Satguru te kavana kavanana siddho mere pai. My brother, anyone, everyone who follows the Guru will actually be transformed. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.